Okay, hello you guys. Welcome back. Hope you guys had a great weekend. It's time for the midday chat. And you know what this is. I know we haven't talked since Friday. We get so used to going live talking every day, sometimes twice a day. And yeah, we got a break over the weekend except for the spoilers that I decided to drop. So as you come into the chat, make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you'll be notified every time a video has been posted. Hey Aisha, happy Monday to you, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We'll get started in a couple minutes so we can talk about today's episode for both Y&R and B&B. Hey Melissa, hey Myra, Keita, Indigo Blue, Bobby Wright, hey Bobby, Janet, welcome Janet, hi, hello. I hope you guys are having a great weekend. Yeah, we got some stuff to talk about, you guys. This was too funny to me, especially on Bold. But of course, we're gonna knock Young and the Restless out the way. Hey Melinda, hey Kimmy Deanne Crosby, welcome. That's a new name. I hope you're subscribed to the channel. Sharon, Cheryl, Myra, welcome in. Okay, it's 23 of you all, so let's get to going. So we're going to talk about Y&R first. Pretty much typical with the Sharon drama we had today. Sharon going missing, Sharon talking to Cameron, and this repulsive deed that she has. We also got the drama going on over at the Romalotti house with Lucy and Heather and Daniel. And then we had a little bit of something with this whole couple's lunch. The aftermath of Cole and Victoria's night together, and we saw Claire and Kyle on a date. So let's go ahead and talk about this. So we're going to go ahead and get the whole Victoria thing out the way. So these two, did you guys check out the fact that Victoria actually wants to keep this whole thing a secret? She said, you know what, let's what we did in the bedroom upstairs stay in the bedroom upstairs. And unfortunately, it didn't do that because and here's my thing. If you want to keep something a secret, don't stand in the doorway all hugged up, kissing in front of a whole audience of a restaurant, not knowing that there's somebody you know from Genoa City, a Newman, other Abbotts, or who else? I'm not going to say some Spencers, some Winters, whoever. You standing in the doorway on two stairs where everybody can see you, yet you want to keep this a secret. Hey, Marion, how are you going to keep this a secret if you're going to stand up in the wide open restaurant and start hugging and kissing? And unfortunately, guess who saw them? None other than their daughter, Claire and Kyle. And then she gonna turn around, oh, well, I guess it's not a secret no more. Ma'am, maybe you all should have came downstairs separately. Like, look, let's keep this between us. I'm gonna go downstairs and leave first, and then give me some time, and then I'll come downstairs afterward. No, y'all come down together. Y'all all hugged up and y'all smooching on each other. So yeah, I don't think that's a way to keep a secret. And then we had the conversation at the table. Yeah, and she was fixing his shirt, girl, but she want to keep it a secret. Okay. Yes, Melissa, thank you. Everybody hit that like button on your way in. Support the channel. I appreciate that. So then they get to the table. And then each couple, Claire talking about what was going on upstairs. And they looking all crazy. Kyle is looking crazy. He took his drink like, oh, this is an awkward situation. I don't blame him because I'm sitting up there like, Claire, really? What did you think happened upstairs? Your mom and dad are not at her house. They're at a hotel. Unless they were just having a staycation. But no, they were up there doing the dirty deed. Anyway. Hey, Brooklyn. Hey, Dolores. Welcome from Miami. Hey, Crystal. Yeah, and then he did announce that he's going to quit Oxford and come to Genoa City. Okay, so what that tells us is he's going to be with us for a while. And the fact that he wants Claire to go back to Oxford with him so she can get to see everything in Europe. And Claire said, "Hey, Kyle, why won't you come with me?" Now, I think that would be cute. And he was like, "No problem." The problem with that, Kyle, is what is Victor going to say? He's already not wanting Cole to be in Victoria's life. He also told you that he don't want you with Claire. So it's going to be interesting to see, whether or not he's going to actually, all this is going to actually take place. Because by the end of the week, Victor is going to be really frustrated with Victoria. And it's not just because of what's going on with Billy, because of the fact that she really wants to alert him, on what's going on when it comes to Victor going after Abbott Chancellor. But he don't want Cole with her either. And he don't want Kyle with Claire. So, honestly, they're grown. If I was them, I would be like, so what, Victor? Seriously. You can't tell us what to do. We grown. Especially Victoria and Cole. They're like in the almost 50 years old. And you're trying to tell him, don't stay away from my daughter. Man, if you don't sit down and be quiet. Hey, LaShanta. So, that whole thing was pretty funny to me. It was crazy with this whole thing with Victoria, Claire, Cole, and Kyle. I actually want to see where this can go with Kyle and Claire. Hey, Kit Kat. Yeah, sure, these are grown folks. They don't have to listen to Victor. Kyle is grown. Claire is grown. Granted, she's never been in a whole relationship, but, I'm kind of curious to see where that's going. But I don't know if I'm equally interested in Cole and Victoria, though. I don't know. It's just, it's like watching paint dry with those two. So, that's my opinion on that. Let's talk about Lucy. And Lucy is a spoiled, entitled brat who is disrespectful because her parents haven't set boundaries, and she thinks that she is at an equal level to them, which is why she talked to them the way that she does. Every time Heather or Daniel tell her to come here, she say, "What?" That's something that did not fly in my house when I was growing up, and it didn't fly when I raised my kids. Now, I know that's this is the soaps, so, it is what it is. But, this whole thing with Lucy just, if you do this, I'm going to run away. Okay, you know what? Let me call your bluff. So, since you're going to run away, which is a manipulation scare tactic, and who knows, maybe she would run away, and I'm not advocating for her to run away. I'm just speaking in the sense of the soaps. You want to run away? Okay, we pay for that phone. We buy your clothes. We buy your food. We buy all of it. So if you're willing to take care of yourself on the street, what are you going to... And then give us some hard truths. Not saying that they're about to kick her out. But say, okay, you know what? That's what you want to do? This is what you have to expect. And give her some time to think. Now, granted, she's in a teenage mindset. And it's all about emotions and selfishness and what she wants to do versus listening to her parents. But sometimes you got to sit these kids down and like, okay, you want to run away? I'm not just going to fall for your emotional manipulation. Because most parents will be like, oh my God, no, don't run away. We'll do what you ask us to do. And that's what she's doing. She's manipulating her parents. Because being out there in the cold, cold world is a harsh place. And give her some food for thought. Like, okay, you want to leave? We going to Portugal. You want to leave? This is what you got to expect. We're cutting off that phone. We're not paying for you to live outside of this house just to make you happy because we decided to go to Portugal. The crazy thing about all of this is Daniel. Daniel said, I agree with Lucy. I know, Melissa. Listen, Jenna, she does need some counseling. Hey, Blackpink me. If I had acted like Lucy by the time my mom had finished with me, listen, we couldn't even say what. When our parents, or when I call my kids and I say, "Hey, come here," they don't come in here with what. I know my son even to this day do it. I'd be like, I call him by his name and he say, "Yes, mom," and he's a 24-year-old. Yes, mom. And even if one of them slip up, the other kid call them out on it. So like if my son slip up, my daughter be like, "Hey, what you say to mom?" So they know better. So they even correct each other if somebody step out of bounds. But in regards to Lucy using emotional manipulation and all that yelling and screaming and crying and all this, and for Daniel to say, "I don't know if I agree with you. I agree with Lucy." I'm like, Daniel, you know what? This is why your daughter doesn't respect you. I get it, he's riddled with guilt, but he need to go get help with that, because he has to be able to parent. If he continue to carry that guilt, he can't parent effectively, because he'll be letting her slide with everything because he feels guilty, and that's not a good way to parent. She's going to realize, yeah, he feel guilty, he owe me, so now I can get away with what I want to. I'll make him feel guilty and then he'll back off. You know what I mean? Kids today are different. Lucy is going through something, and if she don't want to talk to her parents, they need to put her in the counseling office. I get that, but they're not doing it. You got Daniel siding with her. You got Daniel excusing the behavior, the lies, and everything else. So if they want to help her, they have to get her the help that she needs. But in order to do that, they have to stop enabling the bad behavior. They got to stop enabling. We do it all the time. Not over here. I don't know about anybody else. I mean, it happens in the world. I get it. You know, I mean, I can't use my situation as representative of the whole. But anyway, for Daniel, going back to the storyline, for Daniel to actually go and say, "I agree with her, we need to stay in town," when technically they probably do need a break. A lot has happened. This girl is drinking. Nobody is getting her to AA. Talk to somebody like Newman to say, "Hey, you know, what resources or help, or what you got any ideas of what I can do about my daughter who has been underage drinking?" Nobody's asking for nothing. They're enabling the bad behavior. They're letting her manipulate them. And so much so that we saw Heather and Daniel in a whole argument with each other. It even got them at each other's throat. And Heather went there and said, you know, what she said, and then he got mad. This ain't how you do that. That girl is causing so much chaos in the household that is causing problems in their own adult relationship. That's the problem. And instead of enabling her, Daniel, you need to get her the help that she needs instead of kowtowing to what she wants. So what did he do? Well, he decided to go to the one place that he shouldn't go, and he's the same person that said, "Well, I think we need to stay away from her." After the whole interaction the first time at the apartment, after the whole interaction over at Society last week, after the whole interaction where Lucy and him and Sharon were at the coffee house, you gonna go back to the coffee house for ice water? You could have got ice water at the GCAC bar. You could have got ice water at Society. You could have got ice water at your house and sit down with Heather and say, "How are we going to deal with this situation?" No, he gets mad. He leaves and go to the one place where probably he shouldn't be. Crimson Lights. And who is there? Sharon. I'm like, dude, you know what? I can't even. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So you know what? Hey, Sharon is supposed to be up to doing something, and I'm not wishing this on him, but dude, you might be walking into something when you could have been somewhere else. You could have been having a conversation with Heather. You could have been figuring out what type of help to get your daughter. And if you want ice water, you got ice in the refrigerator. Maybe even Devon, I think he owns the building. Maybe he got an ice maker machine on one of the floors. Go across the hall or upstairs and say, hey, can I borrow some ice and some water? You go to Crimson Lights for some ice water. Okay. Now with Sharon is unhinged. You don't feel sorry for that? Me either, Cheryl. It's like, dude. Yeah, Mari said karma came onto him after cheating on Lily with Heather, so both are getting karma. I guess you can say that. I guess you can. Now let's talk about Sharon. So Sharon has been talking to none other than Cameron Kirsten in her head. Her and Cameron in her head has been planning repulsive actions. And we'll get to see tomorrow what that is. And guess who should walk in? None other than Daniel. And so we got to talk about first how she was sitting at the house and she was fighting with herself. She left the house in a mess. And then she went over to Crimson Lights. She snapped off at Esther. And if I was Esther, I'd be like, girl, I don't know what's going on with you, but you need to take it down a notch. Okay? I know I work for you, but yelling at me ain't going to solve whatever issues you got going on. Now, she did apologize after the whole meeting of the minds with Cameron Kirsten. But Cameron was like, look, you about to blow this plan that we got going on. You can't be walking off screaming and hollering at folks and think that people are going to see you as okay. So she dialed it back a little bit, got some of that tea that Esther recommended, sit on the patio. Daniel sashay in, and she comes out there and say, you know what, Daniel, I want to talk to you. I really want to clear the air with you. And yeah, she's trying to lure him because her and Cameron says this is the perfect time, and Daniel with his crazy self had to go there. But you know, it's all part of the plot line. And we'll see what tomorrow brings on what Sharon actually do. I should find out in a couple hours, matter of fact. So because whoever, you know, the Tuesday episode should be playing in Canada today, so I'll get the deets on it. Yeah, she probably is. He asked for ice water, Marion. She probably gonna pull a Jordan and a lunatic Luna. Man, that's the common thing these days on these soaps, putting stuff in people's drinks. Kyle soon will have trouble with Summer. You think so, Dolores? So we'll see. Alright, switching gears a little bit. So while Sharon got this going on at Crimson Lights, we also have Nick, Faith, and Mariah, who are pretty much doing absolutely nothing. I mean, they sitting around talking about it. Faith is like, oh, maybe it's not that bad. And I'm like, girl, you know your mom is already seeing Cameron Kirsten, Cassie. I mean, that should tell you something, ma'am, young lady. You know, and so they, you know, Mariah and Nicholas have seen Sharon in the past. You know, and so they're trying to kind of get her up to speed. And unless we missed something last week, I did not see Mariah pull out her medication to actually prove, you know, that she's been taking it. All we saw is ibuprofen. So I don't know if that was a writer's flaw or was on purpose or she's lying or whatever the situation is. But they're just letting it slide by. Oh, what if we thinking too fast? What if we jump in the whole situation too soon? Maybe she's fine. I'm like, the girl is not fine. Y'all just walking on eggshells around her. You know what I mean? So, Yeah, you know what, Jenna? Nick should have been on this. Phyllis even tried to tell him. And especially if Sharon does something to Daniel, Phyllis is going to be pissed to the highest level of pissivity. She gonna be hotter than fish grease. This woman is definitely not on her meds. I don't even know why Mariah said that. She like a whole fool. If she lied to Nick and Faith about this, she's a problem. She's a problem. So they get to the house and the house is a mess. And they're wondering where she at. Okay, so how many clues do you need to let folks know about this situation? How many clues do you need? So it just doesn't make any sense to me, But in all, I give this episode probably about a C. It was interesting, to say the least. I did not like Lucy's manipulation. I didn't like her attitude and different things like that. I didn't like Sharon, I'm sick of this whole thing with Cameron Kirsten. It's just my opinion. I know it's a plot line. And then we coming up on Sharon Case's anniversary. I think it's 30 years. So it's probably leading up to that as well. Hey, Bree girl. Bree is in the building, my co-host and moderator. Welcome in, girl. Yes, pissivity. I said the highest. She's going to be pissed to the highest level of pissivity. Yes. But anyway, yeah, I'm over this whole thing. And I think from what I understand, by the end of this month, we'll have maybe get into some closure of this whole storyline. So we probably got to deal with it for another week and a half or so. All right, we got 99 people in the chat. Yay! Awesome, you guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And also make sure you follow us on other platforms as well. As we, I see my Facebook group is growing by leaps and bounds, and it's a lot of conversation. Thank you all for the engagement in there. We got a lot of newbies in there. We all talking soap, sharing content. So I really appreciate you guys. And also on Instagram, I got folks, on IG coming over there, commenting on the pictures that I post over there. So I really appreciate all of you. All right, moving on. Bold. So, we had the whole thing with the meeting with Hope about her line, because they left us with the cliffhanger. We had the conversation over at Il Giardino between Liam and Will. And then we had the conversation over at Bill's house where we had them talking about, and Bill was dropping a lot of hints. So let's start there. We're going to start there with Bill and Katie. Katie has been, to me, she started off strong by getting Poppy out of the equation, right? And now when Bill seems to be coming on strong, dropping these innuendos and these hints about Katie, what about being with me, and I really love you, and you look so beautiful, and how about maybe what if we get back together? Now she want to play coy. Oh, no, we don't want to talk about that. Oh, that ain't what I mean. Oh, no. I'm like, girl, you were pushing hard for the last month and a half to get Poppy out the way. Now it seems, based on Bill's reactions and responses, he's looking at you now, and now you want to play coy. You want to play like, oh, no, I just don't, And then they call Will over into this conversation. I don't even know if I want to go in the conversation between Liam and Will, as Bree would call it, a filler storyline in this episode, because I didn't even pay attention. When I saw this scene between Liam and Will over at Il Giardino, they started talking about Poppy and Luna and that whole thing, and then we saw Deacon come over there, introduce himself. He cracking jokes on Bill. Okay, That's the gist I got out of it. Unless y'all want to drop anything else in that about that conversation, I said what I said on that. I'm gonna move on. So Will got to the house and they called him over there because they want to have family time and a family moment. And Will looking like, okay, what y'all want? Pretty much. He didn't say that. That's just me looking at his facial reactions. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we'll ever get any jail scenes with Luna. You know what I mean? Katie just wanted to get Poppy out the house. Yeah, probably so, Cheryl. I get the impression Katie don't want him. She just don't want anybody else with him. That could be a possibility too. But, I mean, she was going in hard trying to get her out. Katie don't want Bill. Angela says Will is not interesting. That's a waste of time. Will too old to be together as a family. Yeah, so they brought he came over there, and so between Will was like, are y'all getting back together? And here go Bill, would it be bad if we did get back together? And Katie's like, well, we're not here to ask that. We wanted to talk to you and have family time. And I'm like, ain't this what you want? This man is Googling over you. He already said he still love you. Talk about how beautiful you are, how you always protect him, and all these other cutesy things that he's saying to Katie. And now you want to play coy. I don't know about that. I honestly think, and then there's this false spoiler, because by the way, you guys, today is the first day of season 38, episode 1. So we are in season 38 now. So I just want to put that out. Today kicks off the new season on Bold. But anyway, as I was saying, they had this big old family hug, and everybody's all smiles, and there's this thing where Will is supposed to be playing matchmaker. Will it work? I don't know. I mean, let me know, you guys, how many people in the chat with a yes or no? Again, how many people in the chat with a yes or no would like to see Katie and Bill back together? And don't give me I don't know or not, just yes or no. Do y'all want Bill to get with Katie? Let's see. And I know there's a little bit of delay on my, on what I'm telling you. So let's see. Okay, so no. Okay, overwhelmingly no. Yeah, I was hoping that he would still. We got one yes from Bobby Wright. I was hoping that maybe they would try to explore this thing with Poppy. But at this point, I don't want them to. And the reason why I don't want them to is because of what Bill has been saying to Katie now. If Poppy continues to pursue Bill, she's going to look pathetic at this point. Because this man is Googling over, well, what's the word I should use? He is just really, really, giving all these sweet nothings to Katie at this point. And it's like, Poppy, don't bark up that tree no more. This man is clearly have an interest in Katie right now. So I wouldn't even want her to even try at this point. They didn't ruin it for me by having Katie seem like she, Yeah, so I don't know about that one. Yeah, I wish we could get Poppy back. I like Poppy, They've had a long summer, so I could see if Romy Park and Lisa Yamada get a break. Because they had filmed that entire summer with regards to that mystery. That mystery started back in June, and it went through, early September? So that's a lot of filming. So they're probably going to take a break right now. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I did see two people, because I think Bree said that she would be interested in seeing them two back together. I don't know. There are a lot of people you know, that are like, maybe some people was hoping maybe they brought Taylor back for Bill, but I don't know if it's gonna go that direction. I think that Taylor is going to have something totally different, and I hope it ain't what I think it is, because it just don't look good, whatever this is for Taylor. But anyway, so we did the Il Giardino thing, we did the Will Katie Bill thing. Let's go over to Forrester. So we leave off with the cliffhanger from Friday, where I'm sorry, I was looking at something on my iPad. I was looking at I was coming off of the cliffhanger. That's what I was saying. Coming off of the cliffhanger from Friday, where it left us with what to do with Hope's fashion line, the Hope for the Future line. And a lot of us expected, because they started out with Carter and Ridge coming in talking about the numbers, and they were pretty much vocal about their thoughts on it. So they left us thinking that Steffy was going to actually, say, hey, it's over, it's done. And Hope and Brooke thought the same thing. So then, because there's a big question in this that's been going on since last week or Friday. Why is Taylor and also Finn in the room? Because they shouldn't be there technically. This is a business meeting. I know this is a family business, but he's a doctor, she's a doctor in the psychology field, and it's like, and they tried to excuse themselves 2 or 3 times, and Steffi was like, no, I want everybody to hear this. So she wanted to present a front in front of everybody that she decided, and I would do it like this because I have a bunch of hold on, I have a bunch of what they call those sound effects, and whoa, and so one of them, let me find, okay, there it is. So what she decided to do was keep Hope's line. She decided to keep it. And everybody in that room, especially Carter, Brooke, Hope, and Ridge, decided, they were looking like, wait, what? They were looking like, are you serious about this? And that look on Ridge's face, because Ridge was coming in hot. He was like, I don't think this is a good idea. And, Carter was looking like, that's what we're doing? Yeah, so Steffi put on a whole front in that entire room in front of everybody and said, yes, we're going to keep the Hope for the Future line. And, Brooke was like, oh, okay. I guess, hey, this is a good idea. I thought sure Steffi was going to throw my daughter under the bus. And, of course, Hope was like, really? I'm shocked. And so I'm like, but you know what? Before what happened in the design office with that conversation, I said something's up with this. And the first thought that came to my mind was Steffi is going to use this as leverage. She's going to make Hope owe her. And that's why in my title I said that Steffi pulled a Victor Newman move. Because Victor liked to own people. If he can hold a huge favor or leverage over you, you get to do what he wants you to do, or else. So she decided to pull, as I would call it, a Victor Newman move and say, you know what? I'm going to let you have your little line. But, and when they got in that design office, she got on the phone and Hope was like, hey, Zende, we good. Our line is still going. Steffi actually said we're going to keep designing. Steffi came up in that room and, Hope is like, Everything's going to be great. I'm surprised you did this for me. Thank you so much. You're giving us time. Things hasn't been the way it was because Thomas left and the whole thing with Luna and blah, 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 blah. And Steffi dropped that bombshell. She said, yeah, but I'm going to have to, you're going to have to do what I say. Yeah, you're going to have to do what I say. And she was like, well, yeah, I know you're going to want us to be profitable and you want us to keep the line rejuvenated. She was like, yeah. All that. Yeah. That's cool. But there's one other thing. I'm going to need you to stay away from my husband. Whatever happened at that party with you kissing him and doing all that other stuff, yeah, that's going to need to stop. Because if I find out that you even look at him the wrong way, you breathe his direction, you even take your eyes to shift to his direction, your line is done. Yep. And I agree, Bree. I said that in the group chat. I have a feeling because the reaction on Carter's face is like, can't nothing say this line right now. I don't know what Steffi's doing. So this new man that can help her save her line, in my opinion, I honestly believe, and this is not a spoiler, this is just me having a conversation with you guys. This is just my opinion because I don't want nobody to go say, hey, T over at So Corner Talk said that Zende is her new man. Nope, this is my speculation. Until the true official spoilers come out, I honestly think that it could be Zende. And that's the same thing she said in that Bree said as well. I totally agree with that. Because at this point, what can you do? I mean, now we did see the Friday promo, a preview for this week, where we're going to see Hope actually go over and tell Finn, I can't speak to you anymore. We can't have a friendship anymore. And then we also got that promo preview where Brooke is over at Finn's office telling him about how Steffi is going to upend her life. Honestly, all Hope got to do is walk away. Now, Steffi is actually in a win-win situation at this moment. Not until the new designer helps her. But in this moment, if she don't stay away from Finn, there goes her line. If she don't let the numbers get better, there goes her line. So technically, either way, Steffi can get her way. Because if the line hasn't done this well so far, you think another quarter to the end of the year, we're going into the winter months, which means they got to do winter designs, if they haven't started already, that is going to be even better. That's all. No. So Steffi is trying to play this whole, girl, please, I'm winning either way. But Steffi don't know. Obviously, with them throwing this new designer in, Steffi is probably going to be a little blindsided. And especially if this new designer has great, does well, right? But in Steffi's mind, she like, I'm going to win this battle either way. I'm just playing smoke and mirrors with her. Because the line haven't been doing well all this time. It's going to fail anyway. Right now. If she didn't get a designer. The other thing is, if she decides to speak to her, look his direction, speak to Finn, try to do whatever, her line is gone. You know what I mean? So there's always a catch. There's always a catch in this situation. So I thought it was funny. I was cracking up, actually. Because I didn't really know how they were going to go and why she was going to. But then when she said that and everybody else was looking crazy and they like, why is she doing that? And when she said, oh no, we're going to keep her line. But she going to have to owe me for this one. And what is she going to owe me? She's going to owe me staying away from my husband. So I thought that was hilarious. And of course, Hope looking like a deer in headlights. But there's another conversation that happened too, and that's back inside the office between Ridge and Ridge Taylor and Brooke. She put that man on the spot because she figured using her relationship with Ridge was going to have him say would he had agreed with Steffy if she said no. And Ridge standing up there looking like a deer in headlights. And Taylor called it out like, look, you putting this man on the spot. What are you talking about? And she was like, no, what do you mean I'm putting him on the spot? I'm not putting him on the spot, but I am putting him on the spot because I want to know if Steffy would agree to take her line away from Hope, where Ridge would have stood by her. So basically what you're saying is, are you going to choose me or your daughter's decision? Brooke, you put him on the spot. And so what would happen if Ridge would have said, yeah, I agree with Steffy, if she had to cancel that line? Then what? Well, you get mad, you'll pout, you break up with him? Okay. What? How many times have y'all broken up over the past, 30 years? I mean, she was trying to use her. She gave him that look like, I dare you to say otherwise. I dare you. I wish you would say you would side with Steffy over breaking my daughter's heart. It's like, this is business, ma'am, and you're supposed to be part of the executive team. Part of being on the executive team is understanding business. And if, again, nobody's searching for your line, nobody is buying it, everybody's returning it, and you're not getting any sales, what are you talking about? Bree said Brooke hasn't learned anything after being with Ridge over the years, putting him on the spot, always pushed him into... Listen, I know that's right, Bree. But yeah, she said I'm not putting him on the spot, but you put him on the spot. You wanted to know whether or not you would choose, you want to know whether he would choose you, or would you choose Steffi's decision if in fact she had agreed with you and Carter. What were you going to do? Have a hissy fit? I mean, come on. So, yeah, that whole thing was crazy. Always demanding that Ridge put her little tramp over his daughter. All the time. I need you to choose my daughter over what your daughter is saying. Now, Steffi, again, on that other side of the room in the design office, she already played chess. So, unbeknownst to Hope, trying to put folks on the spot, which she'll get probably a rude awakening tomorrow. But I don't understand why this is an issue for Hope. And I'm going to have to change. All of a sudden, in the middle of my live, my smoke detector started going off. So I know you probably not. It's chirping because I guess it need a battery or something. So if that's what you hear in the background, that's what that is. So my apologies. But I mean, I don't understand why Hope is so upset about this. After everything that has happened, this should be a slam dunk for you. You want me to stay away from Fan? Cool. And I'm hoping we get to that point, which is with this new storyline with the new man thing. Because her continuously trying to go after this man after he told her no, I'm telling you, it's not a good look. Because it's unwanted attention. I won't use the other word. And if this was on the reverse, it would be a whole problem. He's telling you no. He's telling you stay away. You can't do this. Stop coming after me. Respect my marriage. He already told you that. Your mom is telling you that. Steffi is telling you that. I mean, you want that man that bad? It's not that serious. Yeah, I know, girl. It's irritating me. I can't stand it. It decided to ask for a battery in the middle of this doggone, in the middle of this live. But yeah, it should be. She should be able to be like, you know what, fine. I need my line. I don't need your husband. I'm out. The girl ain't ugly. She obviously is a sensual prowess. She could go out there and find somebody else, which I'm hoping we'll see that in the next couple weeks. You know, as we get into the fall, storylines and stuff like that. Jenny said Ridge need to stand up to Brooke and tell her that he was going to agree to shut the line down if Steffy wanted to. Ridge need to grow a backbone. Yeah, he's standing up in there looking at, because remember, Taylor is in that room too. So he is on the spot, even on Taylor's side, by her saying, which daughter would you support? You got Taylor there as Steffi's mom, and then you got Brooke there asking the question as Hope's mom. He's on the spot. And if he said, well, I would have fought for Hope, Taylor would have been pissed. And if, Ridge says, no, I'm going to stand by my daughter's decision, she's a good business person, Brooke would have been pissed. You putting him in an impossible situation that he shouldn't have been in. This is business. And that's why you got to have business-minded people in business. Brooke should know better. It shouldn't be about your feelings. And even Carter said that. Facts and data don't care about folks' feelings. It is what it is. And if your fashion line is trash, it's trash. I can't go up in some lone place, a person, I won't even put myself in there, but if a person goes up in a lone place and say, I got a 350 credit score, but we're friends, can you give me $100,000? They're going to laugh you out of there. So if your line is in the toilet and it's not making no money, you taking money out of another clothing line, which is Brooke's line, and she's happy to, I'm gonna throw the money into my daughter's line like a unbusinesslike person. It's like, what are you thinking, ma'am? It doesn't make any sense to me. So yeah, it's a pretty interesting episode. I am looking forward to finding out what happens now. So we probably gonna have Hope go run and tell her mom. This will take us to Brooke go running to talk to Finn, which I think is still disrespectful. Why would you go talk to her husband after everything that's happened? Your daughter kissed him. You've been telling your daughter to stay away from him, but yet you go and you talk to her husband about your daughter. That makes no sense. None. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, and then she go talk to Finn anyway. It's like, girl, she told you to stay away from Finn. Then you got Hope talking to Finn, and then you got Brooke talking to Finn this week. Insane. Bree said Hope and Brooke get so offended by facts and figures unless they're in the position to throw it in people's faces. Yeah, it's hypocritical. Absolutely hypocritical when it comes to that. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you know what? Y'all need to stop. It's just crazy. Brooke, all Brooke had to do is go talk to, if she didn't like what Steffi did, go talk to Ridge and Steffi. Why are you talking to her husband? Please, she's going to go and up in, I think the word she said was up in Hope's life. Okay, what that got to do with Finn? You want this man to go over there and stop Steffi? You going to go to plead to his wife on your daughter's behalf to her husband? Man, that's crazy. On all fronts. Yes, hit that like button. It's over 130 people in here. We're about to close up on the way out, but I just wanted to go ahead and share this, do our recap for today's episode. We had a pretty interesting things going on over on especially Bold. Y&R, I give it a C. Bold, I'll give it a B because I wasn't expecting Steffi to pull a Victor Newman. Victor Newman's card out of her hat. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was pretty darn interesting the way that they did that. I know it doesn't make sense because in the long run, if she actually stick to this plan, then yeah, it doesn't make sense because Hope Lyon will just continue to siphon money out of the company. But knowing that there's another storyline on the horizon, I was pretty darn shocked. I'm like, okay, I see you, Steph, but yeah. And then Young and the Restless, that whole thing with Lucy, Sharon, Heather, Daniel, we'll see on tomorrow's episode about how everything goes on in regards to what Sharon does to Daniel. You know what I mean? So, all right, you guys, we're done. Hit the like button. I think we on the way out. We got 61 likes. It's 135 of you in here. Again, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you're notified every time a video has been posted. I am T from Soap Corner Talk. And until the next one, we'll see you all soon. Bye, Soapies.